Welcome everyone to the channel. Today I'm hauling jet fuel on a Freightliner Coronado, but first we're still attached to the propane tank because we've been doing a lot of propane. So in the process I got to get this dropped off, go to North Augusta, get it hooked to a jet trailer, load jet trailer, deliver jet trailer, and come back and hook up into a propane tanker again and preload for the next day. But in order to haul jet fuel, like I said, we got to get rid of this propane tank first. Well, got her on hooked and all properly put away. Time to bobtail to North Augusta and hook up to a jet fuel trailer. Gonna go and swap trailers later on after I'm done with jet fuel to preload propane. But yeah, that's about it. Time to get going down the road. Well, I arrived at the North Augusta yard, and the one thing I hate is some of these company drivers have no common sense. So I have to hook up to the trailer, and this is the only space I got to hook up a trailer. I'm lucky I was able to hook. Because of this dip, sometimes I have problems hooking. Like, I'm sorry, but whoever parked this trailer like this, come on. Seriously, it's too close. Some common sense. Park it better. I'm just hoping, like, I can remove my my landing gear arm or whatever thing that you use to wind it up. It's not going to touch that of the trailer, but look how close and awkward this is. It's just ridiculous. Good news is the fact that I just went underneath to check and my kingpin is locked behind the jaw, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I just gotta raise the landing gear. Just check to make sure and see I got my bucket to drain any extra jet fuel that may have contaminated water or old jet fuel I need to just drain out and dump it in proper places, and check my Scully system as well. It's looking good to go. Doesn't look like there's any issue whatsoever. Nothing red. Looking like it's working. And this is cable operated. It's one of the old trailers that I used to drive. Just checking overview, make sure everything is working on her before taking off, and let the air pressure also build up. But yeah, it looks like we are good to go. Well, I'm able to raise my landing gear. That's good news. So just got my paperwork, but didn't get to show you where I load the jet fuel at. This is where I load it, under that rack there. Can't be on my phone in there or inside the truck while loading, so I can only show you from this point of view that I'm loaded with 8,000 gallons of jet fuel headed to Charleston Airport in South Carolina. Just gonna double check to make sure everything is secure and nothing is loose out of the ordinary on the truck and trailer, like all the caps and stuff, which is a very good habit to do. Now, this took me an hour to load this time. Normally I could knock off a loading session at Kinder Morgan at a loading jet fuel in about 30 minutes. But what happened was, when I came in, I connected my Scully and right away I had an issue. First of all, I had no power. So I started tracing my steps. You can't do much when you're underneath the loading rack, but you can replace and check fuses if the fuses are the inside of your truck. So I opened my fuse box, and my big main fuse actually blew again. I had to correct this earlier today when I was swapping trailers, but my big main fuse actually blew again. So got to keep in mind whenever it's probably my mistake why it blew, but I'm 100% sure got to keep an eye on that big fuse and why it's blowing, because it normally did not blow, but I probably touched something while messing around with the fuses and it blew again. Also, I got to have the ignition on this truck while loading in order to get power to my trailer for the Scully to work. Now, I had my ignition off. Now, I didn't say turn on the truck. I said just turn on the ignition. So all the power is off except it's running power into the trailer. So I had to do that. So, loaded. Let's hit the road now. I'm approaching Charleston. I have an announcement to tell y'all. Kind of an announcement at the end of this video, so watch it till the end. But I'm approaching Charleston with bugs covered on the windshield, and it's very, very bumpy. It's very hard for me to hold the camera right now, simply for the fact that it's very, and I mean very, very bumpy. But yeah, this is Charleston. It has some of the dumbest drivers out here too that drive slower than the speed limit for no reason. But we're approaching the airport. Well, I'm at the airport currently unloading some jet fuel. About to finish up my paperwork and head on the way. Unloading jet fuel could take 30 minutes, maybe an hour. It just depends how fast the flowing process works. That's the pump. And I got 5 pockets, 2,500 gallons in the front pocket and 2,500 gallons in the back pocket, 1,000 on each. So these 3 are going to be the easiest to unload and fastest. We always start from the front. That way, if we do have an issue and we have to drop the trailer, the weight is not on the front and the landing gear can support the weight without tipping over the trailer. I have to open up my vapor and I can feel that sucking really fast, so I should be out of here in about 30 minutes or less. It's not going to take even that long. And that's the airport over there. Not sure if you can see any planes or not, but that's the airport right there. Runway somewhere down there. They have a secondary runway up there. They have a few runways at Charleston. That's the storage tank. And Boeing, believe it or not, is actually next door, as you can see. Let me zoom in. That's one of the planes they're building up there. They do ship parts in and out of here at Boeing. So Boeing is across the street from here as well. Well, now I'm empty. Coming out of the fueling aviation station where I dropped my jet fuel. And it's time to head back to hook up to a propane trailer and preload. I am about 10 miles away from our little yard where I'm gonna swap trailers, and guess what? The police and state troopers had to do. The camera is not, I'm not gonna be able to show you, but when I'm coming down the hill, I can see there's state troopers that are blocking the freeway. Basically, as you can see, there's a reflection off of the trucks going the other way. Basically, they shut down the freeway for road construction to get moved around without traffic interfering. But here's the problem I have with it. First of all, it creates traffic. Second, if I was driving on the other side, because I'm going westbound right now, but if I was going eastbound on 26 here, 90% of the time, I don't see any construction traffic moved around. I just feel like either the cops are doing it as a precaution, or they just try to intimidate or do this on purpose for the general traffic, like they're supposedly shutting down the road for road construction, but they're actually not, because most of the time I don't see any road construction being moved at all. Now, if you live in the Columbia area, I'm just warning you, the only place that doesn't have road work is I-77. That's the sad truth. I-77 is the only place, because 26, 20, and 26 both ways, really, if you're gonna be going after 6 p.m., you're gonna be stuck behind this roadblock, because they're supposedly moving road construction. So there's really no way to go around it. Luckily, I just happened to stumble across it almost to my my yard area. But other than that, you better know the areas to go around this, because you could be stuck in this for up to 30 minutes, which could be a headache on your route. Well, just hooked up to the propane trailer. About to leave to get loaded, and hopefully after all this ordeal and all these delays that I had hauling jet fuel, I can still make it to Florence, because I'm on my way to Myrtle Beach when I'm going to be loaded with this load of propane in this tanker. But hopefully I can make it to Florence tonight before running out of hours. So, loading propane, I'm allowed to use a phone while I'm inside the truck. This is one of the facilities that actually lets me sit in the truck during the loading process and be on your phone if you want. Anyway, that's how much is left on my clock for today, and hopefully I can make it to Florence. Now, there's probably gonna be no spots left at the TA. I'm gonna look at Trucker Path to see if there's any spots in TA. So most likely what I'm gonna end up doing is actually reserving a parking at Pilot Flying J, because my TA app really doesn't work. Pilot Flying J app actually works. So hopefully I have enough time to get there. I think it takes like an hour and 40 minutes to get there, so hopefully I have plenty of time to get there. Also, if you're wondering why I'm using e-logs, well, this truck has a 1991 Detroit 60 Series, it's a glider, but believe it or not, 60 Series can use paper log or e-logs, but under FMCSA law, if your truck is pre-2000 or engine is pre-2000, you could use paper logs, but the company that I'm currently working at prefers e-logs over paper. I got some good news in the trucking world today. I-40 and near the North Carolina and Tennessee border is finally open. Now, it's not open all the way. There's still going to be road work and construction there, but it's open one lane each direction, which finally opens up the corridor to hit Tennessee without going around. There's still going to be traffic, but it's going to ease traffic congestion going around through on 26, 81, and through Atlanta by a lot by having this open back up. If you don't remember, 40 was devastated by Hurricane Helene back in 2024 of October. So, made it to the Pilot Flying J. I was able to reserve a spot on the app and got parked. Interesting fact is, when I pulled up to this Pilot here in Florence, there was only 2 reserved parking spots available. But according to the app, there was multiple. What ended up happening, Pilot crew came over here, knocked on the doors for everyone to move out and say, you didn't pay for parking, which was the case. I just did a whole bunch of push-ups, jumping jacks, squats, and specialized athlete jumps. So if when I don't go to the gym, I have to do this daily. That way, I can stay fit as a truck driver and keep my blood pressure low. I recommend you do the same thing and eat healthy. You can eat meat, don't worry. Just make sure your meat ain't full of antibiotics and stuff like that. Now, still out of breath. But as far as for the announcement, I have changes, possibly big changes. Big things happening in April. So for you to hear the main reason, the main announcement, you have to say subscribe to this channel. You don't want to miss out on the vlog that's coming out in April. Without further ado, I'm your boy ADV. Not canceled. Guys, I'm Eddie V. 2064 Secretary Line. Driving a temp in the 6 Series.